One morning I received a text from Henry asking me what time would I be interested in us getting together today. Prior to that, he and I had not discussed getting together that day. So now he was wondering what time it would be that we got together. At first I was going to say, Henry, I didn't know we were going to get together today. But something told me to respond differently, which was what I did. I said, anytime you want to get together would be fine with me. By the time he showed up, it was after 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which was perfectly okay with me, because as I said, I had no idea we were even planning on getting together, let alone for any specific time. He showed up at my house and unloaded a bunch of tools with him. I helped him bring the tools into the house because there were so many of them. Now he really had my attention. Showing up with tools? That meant we were going to do work together. Work together in my house, without me even asking him. Forgive me for my apparent astonishment, because it had been a good 11 years since Henry and I worked together on anything. That was in 2009, at the same location, in my house, when he installed the hot water heater in my basement. In the years since then, we talked a lot about working together on different things. Now we actually were. It was like almost too good to be true. But the timing could not have been better. It was only the previous day that Malik and I had moved the sink from the backyard into the kitchen again. And Henry had showed up to do the plumbing connections for me. And to think, I was all set for my very next video upload to be how I was about to tackle that in job all by myself, running back and forth to the plumbing store for this and that, soldering copper joints for the first time. Then suddenly, like a genie out of the bottle, Henry was here to simplify the entire process. There is no video of the work he did with me that day. I intentionally did not do any filming, mainly because in all the times I had ever worked with Henry in the past, he doesn't just work and have you assist, but he explains everything going on while he does it. So my attention had to be on him and what he was saying, not setting up some camera shot and making sure there was adequate lighting. But with the aid of hindsight, I'll do my best to recap as much of what went on. As I said, he did not show up until after 2 p.m., yet he was committed to doing whatever he could to ensure running water and proper drainage in the sink before calling it quits that day. The first thing he did was survey the situation. He said that so that when we went to the store to get whatever we needed, we could do it all in one trip to the store, which was already news to me because I'm thinking back and forth to the store for this and again for that and again for the other. He was talking just one trip. I told him I would like the sink hooked up in its new location, but if it would be easier for him to move it to its previous location where the plumbing already existed, we could do it that way. Because I'm trying to keep the job as simple as possible. He did not even bat an eye about that, which was like him saying, well, Ricky, if that's where you want it, then that's where it will be. The main thing would be the drain, which would have to be cut and then re-angled in the new direction where it now would be. We did no work before going to the store. Henry said that was not necessary. He had me compile a list of all the items we would need to purchase. I could not help but be amazed that we might pull this off with only one trip to the store. He had us get a few things not really needed, but just in case. That way, if they turned out to not be necessary, then I could just return them for a refund. Not long after we got back from the store that I began tearing all the items out of their little plastic bags. When Henry saw me doing this, he suggested I not, because if something is not needed, then you could take it back only if it's still unopened, he said, which was right. It was fun operating his drill with the round saw blade on it to cut the hole in the floor. I had never done anything like that before. He showed me how to drill the two smaller holes for the hot and cold lines. Through it all, the thing I found to be most amazing was that there was absolutely no soldering of copper pipes involved whatsoever. None at all. When I was going to do it myself, I'm thinking, I got to get solder, I've got to get a hand torch, blah, blah, blah. But now there's this new thing called PEX tubing, which I had seen around in my YouTubepedia videos. But I always thought it was complicated in connecting them to existing copper pipe. Henry had us include a special crimping tool in our list of items. He was patient when he had to show me several times over, this is what a good crimp is supposed to look like. I asked him, and he showed me where my main water valve was coming into the house. Not only that, how simple it was to turn the house water on and off. It was located in an obvious and easily accessible location, which surprised me. It had been the main reason for me firing Greg Pierre from the kitchen contract, because he left the water turned off when I told him to turn it back on. Had I knew how simple it was for me to turn it back on myself, I might have kept him around longer. But that's neither here nor there. There was already an existing copper to PEX line for the hot water. Henry showed me where and how to cut it on the copper side and insert the T, which he referred to as a shark bite T. Henry had a bucket handy because he said when the copper pipe is cut, water will come out. What he didn't say was not only would it come out, it would shoot out all over the place. I felt like I was inside of a shower with my clothes on. But that did not last long. I likely would have panicked had I been alone when that happened, thinking I did something wrong. One of the more important aspects of this project was the sequence in which things were done. Henry emphasized this. You can't do some things before other things were already in place. I probably would have worked from the sink in the kitchen down to the basement had I done it myself, making all kinds of mistakes along the way. It made more sense doing it his way, working up from the basement. It was truly an incredible experience assisting him on this. I wanted to include the details I have in this video because this is a clip not meant just for the viewing public, but for me as well, so that in watching it again, I can be reminded of how certain things are supposed to be done. And when I master the things in the future I do, you will know who helped me along the way.